East Podcast, WATP.
John is not going to take the LSAT?
Oh, yeah.
He's announced that he's postponing taking the LSAT?
Well, he's got some good reasons, right?
I hope so. So this is, I believe this is from Tookie show, where Tookie is watching John talk about how he's not going to take, he's postponing the LSAT.
We have an update on John and the LSATs. Sean, if you would play the StutJo clip.
I'm thinking I'm going to postpone my LSAT. I got too much else going on with the DVR and the thing.
I'll figure out how to tape Jeopardy for Ma. With the DVR.
Okay. Let me explain this. So John signed up for the LSAT. He wanted to take it in November, but he missed the deadline by 1 day, so then he had to sign up for January. Mm-hmm. So now he's claiming he's got too much going on because he's got to figure out the DVR. Now you might say, he must have misspoke. He didn't.
Oh.
He's trying to figure out how to stop it so that people can rewind or scrub behind on his live stream. Now, Patrick Melton does this on Nobody Likes Onions. Everyone who's watching is watching live. Nobody's watching from an earlier time on the live stream. Why does John want to do this?
I was on the phone with Vince for about an hour today and yesterday. We've been trying to figure out how to turn the DVR function off of from StreamYard going into YouTube, and we have not been able to come up with it. We tried for a while, and I thank you, Vince, for trying to help me, but we just kept going and going and going. We could not figure it out. So if anybody does know how to do so, because then I could really take the orange down from engaging in his nefarious activity. So if anybody knows how to do it, I have seeked advice from a few people who know, but YouTube is so fucked up. They change shit all the time.
Yeah.
And then I was watching some videos, and one was with a woman with a thick Indian accent. I couldn't understand what she was saying, and the other guy wasn't even speaking English. So if anybody does know, I will pay them to show me, because then I could strike at will.
Who's Will? So John's whole thing, this is why he has to postpone the LSAT. So this is, he's going to become a lawyer because he wants to help the little guy who can't afford large attorney fees because he's so concerned about people's attorney fees.
And money.
So he goes and signs up for the LSAT, which is the law school admissions test, so that he can get into law school, so he can become an attorney. And he wanted to do it in November, but then he pushed it back to January. And now he has so much going on because he's trying to figure out how to make it so people can't rewind his show in real time. I watched today. He was on with Vince the lawyer and Ava. I was watching a little bit before we started the show today. And he's figured it out. Okay. And the reason why he needed to do that is so he could strike at will. So he doesn't like that Obnoxious John, our buddy OJ, has been sniping the stutterer. And so if you want to watch Stuttering John's show and you want to not throw your fist through your phone or computer screen or however you're watching it, you watch Obnoxious John watch it.
It's the only way.
But now John goes, oh, well, Obnoxious John can like back it up a little bit and we'll know if I'm going to hit my copyrighted music. But if I can get to this new thing, the non-DVR thing, he can strike at will. He can just hit his little bumper song and then he can strike channels down. Because John's the good guy, remember? That's what you do. You strike channels, you go after people, you try to ruin their channels and stuff. John's done that many times.
Instead of becoming a lawyer and taking the legal right way and taking them to court and having justice on your side.
Well, then some truth came out today when I was watching. That's why I brought this up, Adam. Because I'm watching him with Vince today, and they've figured this out. So Vince is like, well, you back on taking the LSAT? And John goes, yeah, I was reading about that, and it says that you should study for 6 to 8 months before taking the LSAT. And Vince goes, Yeah, for like idiots, but you're so smart, man. You got it, which is great. I love the Vince is just like, no, man. You'll fucking ace it. Just go in January when you have the exam set up.
Yeah, he said that's for 20-year-olds. You're 60. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, you were watching too.
Mm-hmm. Through OJ. Thank you, OJ.
Yes, thank you, OJ. Holy shit! It just never stops being funny. Everything with Stuttering John never stops being funny. So we'll see. Now John's claiming that he is going to take the LSAT in January. I have a feeling that he's going to find an excuse to not take it. I think he's never going to take this exam because he didn't realize the amount of work that went into it. And now that he's started studying, quote unquote, as he says.
You probably should have researched this.
Yeah, before like bragging about how Pocky's going to pay for all of your law school and your fees for the LSAT and stuff.
I should be used to this by now, but what a flimsy excuse that he couldn't take it in January because of this DVR.
Because he's got to figure out one thing that he hasn't had a hard time Googling so far.
It's fucking late October, asshole.
That's why when I was watching this, I was watching this on Tookie last night, and then I was trying to get caught up today, and I'm like, this can't be real. This can't be really what he's talking about. And then it is. Whoa.
Then I got to figure out what to do with these coat hangers behind me.
Yeah. Got to put something on him.
What do you hang him like in a closet or something? I'll Google it. I'll call Vegas Beer Sales Jerry.
This could take a while.
I'll call my attorney friend in Florida.
Just so we're clear, when I appeared on John's show, he said to me, are you good at the internet and stuff? Can I ask you some questions? This was the only question he had. He called me up after our interview, and he said, can you show me how to stop people from rewinding it?
Right.
And I was in a moral problem because I promised him I'd help him, but I really didn't want to remove that function for everybody.
Right.
But I showed him, and he did it. And then I hung up with him, and he started his live stream, and he couldn't figure out how to do it anymore.
So you are good at the internet and stuff.
I looked it up on AI, and I also explained to him how he could just look it up on AI, and he did not understand what I was saying.
He's a miracle.
Is the AI going to do it for me? No, but it'll tell you instead of bothering me. No, let's just stick with you.
He is a miracle. I'm going to play you some clips. So we're going to get into all this controversy with what happened between producer Joe Frog over the Shuli Network and Ava Raiza and the big revelation that came out during Point Dabble Point. But everything that John talks about, he's constantly getting his friends involved. And he loves bragging about that. Oh, I sent this over to Dirty Deeds, and I sent it to Beer Sales Jerry, and I even sent it to Could you imagine being this asshole's friend? It's just constantly like, hey, look at what this guy did to me today. It's just like, hi, John, I'm also having a fine day. You know, it's never, what are you up to? Everything cool? What's going on? It's always just like, what's going on with him?
Almost like a child.
Like a child. Very selfish child. So, John, of course, is watching Point Dabble Point. So what I decided to do here, if you haven't caught up on Point Dabble Point from this past Monday, it was on my channel, and we had on Earl David Reed, who people loved EDR on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, EDR, for coming on, because he was at John's stand-up show that we were covering, and he was hiding in the back. And then afterwards, he went up and said hi to John. They got a photo together. Very gracious. He had nice things to say about John, meeting him in person. But he had very interesting stories to tell. We had Lucy Tightbox, we had Shuli, and then we had Ava Raiza. And the reason why I invited Ava Raiza on is because I was watching her on John's show, claiming that, oh, they'll never have me on their show ever again because I come on and do your show. And I went, no, that's not how we operate. No. People like to accuse me of just being surrounded by yes men, but I'm happy to have a conversation and a debate.
We've wanted a counterpoint for quite some time.
Right. I've always talked about that. Yeah. We've asked Rob Saul to come on. We've asked Clay Dabbler to come on many times.
Oh, yeah.
There's Quadfather. We did have Quadfather on. Clay Dabbler was a fake Clay Dabbler was in the chat. And I was like, oh, I sent him the link. I DM'd him the link right away. I thought he was going to come on. So we're always open to a counter discussion. I've also ask Aaron Imholt if I could come on his show or if he wants to come on my show or whatever. I'm always open for these types of
events. I think Chad dipped in one time.
Yeah, we had Chad on. That's right. So Ava Raiza makes this statement that, oh, well, Carl and Shuli, they would never have me on their show. So as soon as I heard that, I emailed her. I go, Ava, you want to come on Point Dabble Point? I eventually heard back, and she said, yep, great. So she came on the show, and this is John. So this is 2 hours into the show. And all of a sudden, this thing comes up. So this is John watching Point Dabble Point. So you'll get the gist of what Ava said, and of course, John's reaction to it as well.
I mean, y'all have said a lot of bad things about me, but I never read the exchange with me and Frog about how you guys were trying to get me to secretly befriend John's trans son here and manipulate them to get in for you.
Who Frog sent you a message?
Oh yeah, okay. Yo, bad acting.
He said, "Can I call you?" And y'all had just had a meeting, and then he proposed that idea to me, and then when I didn't do it, you coincidentally stopped having me on the show.
I don't recall any of this, first of all. I've never once included...
We gotta get the X-Files, come on.
But Carl, isn't that interesting that they...
Yes, that's why I said you should have led with that.
They were like,
right, sounds like Ava needs to come back. It sounds like Ava needs to come back.
So, thank you. Anyway, so there you have it. And yes, I have the text. And it's fucking... I mean...
So this is John's show yesterday. Point Devil, Point Monday. This is his show Tuesday. And John keeps claiming, I have the text messages that show that Shuli's producer reached out to Ava Raiza and suggested that Ava try to become friendly with John's trans son, Knight. And on this show from yesterday, John keeps going, yep, I sent it to Vegas Beer Sales. I sent it to my attorney. I sent it to so-and-so. And people in the chat are like, well, show us the text messages. And he's like, I don't need to show it to you guys, but I've seen it, which is weird because Ava tweeted it. I have all the screenshots right here. We can go through and read what they are. So this is presumably producer Joe. I'm pretty sure it is. I talked to him today on the phone. Can I call you? And she says, sure. Am I in trouble? He says, yep. And then you see about 8 minutes went by, and then there's a link to an Instagram account. So now, what was the date on that? Let's look at that. So that's April 22nd. Fast forward to August 12th. And Ava says, so what exactly is the deal as far as Shuli saying I have carte blanche to come on the show anytime I want a week or so ago in response to a super chat, but that not actually being true? God, fucking punctuation, people. Help us out. Come on. And Joe responds 7 minutes later. I think he means it when he says it, but then doesn't want to bring a guest on. It's not just you. I've been trying to get on Don Jameson and Lee Syatt on forever. So she writes back, it's not because I didn't do the thing with John's kid. And he responds, no, I never mentioned that to those guys. I don't think Shuli would have approved. She says, okay, cool. Wait, I thought you said that was his idea. And Joe says, which thing are we talking about? Seeing if you can find his kid and befriend him? That wasn't Shuli's idea. That's not his style. Okay? So this is the text message, and I believe all of this to be real and true. I believe this is what went back and forth between these two. So fast forward to Ava calling into Tookie's show last night. This is fun because Tookie's covering this. And Ava calls in. So she explains what went on here. And the idea is that in between that text message that says, can I call you? And then the link to Instagram, there was a phone call where Joe says, hey, do you think you could maybe become friendly with John's trans son? I assume because she's trans and that's how that works. I don't know.
Could be a coincidence.
Sure. Maybe
talk
just
about the same things.
Maybe just thinks they'd be a good match. I don't know any of that. One wanted boobs, one didn't want their boobs. So yeah, who knows? Opposites attract.
They both know where the store is. They both know where to get them.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I took mine into Goodwill. You took mine out of Goodwill. Right. We know how this works. So this is Ava calling in to Tookie Soup last night.
Hello. We just watched your video. It's fantastic, and it actually shows that Shuli is innocent in all this.
I'm making the claim that there's a phone call that happened, and then when I brought it up a few months later, Frog was like, "Oh shit," and then made that statement, and I would leave it up to your own judgment if you think Frog would call me and without talking to Shuli about that first.
So the accusation that was made is that this was Shuli's idea, whereas you can see in that text thread, Joe saying, "Oh, Shuli, I didn't even tell Shuli about that. He knows nothing about it." So that's not, if there's a reason why Shuli's keeping you off the show, it's definitely not that. He doesn't even know that I asked you to do that thing. Which, she came on the show and said, accused Shuli of doing that. And it's like, if you look at the text thread, it looks like Shuli was completely in the dark on it. But now she's claiming that, no, Shuli definitely knew.
Oh, okay, I get what's going on now.
Do you really think that's not Shuli's style?
If I'm really going to be honest, I mean, I don't think that Shuli would have told him to try and get you to go undercover. But after what I saw Frog do at DabbleCon 2 when he was left to his own devices, I do believe that he could have came up with the idea.
That was Vinny's fault, sir.
And went.
So what they're describing here is when Kevin Brennan was sniping our pay-per-view stream, Joe's brilliant idea was to show shit porn and someone screaming the N-word. And a lot of people
old gag, I remember that
people who purchased, I mean, there was a reason for it that happened to John on his stream, but a lot of people who purchased the stream were kind of offended by that. There was also something about offing our current president. It was wild. It got a little wild. So I thought that was fun. Just, you don't hear Tookie talk seriously very often. Right. Tookie's just like, well, I don't know that Shuli would want, anyone to go after John's kids or befriend his kids. It seems out of line, considering Shuli has young children and stuff and wouldn't want family involved and stuff.
He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's like, I want to keep making these jokes, but now we're accusing people of real crimes, and I want to keep making these jokes. So,
Tookie's doing whatever he can do.
He always lands on the right side there.
Now, on point, Dabble point, the story gets crazier. I hope I'm presenting this well. I don't think I am. On point, Dabble point on Monday, Ava claimed not only did she have the text messages, but she also has the phone call recorded from Frog. And so that's like a big thing. Like, oh, are you going to release the phone call? And so OJ, actually, thank you, OJ.
When
OJ,
she illegally recorded.
I'm not going to get into that.
Okay. And John is going to go with that to make himself. Now he's in favor of illegal record. It's okay to show people's texts, or I'm having a hard time.
I know, Adam. I can't figure any of this out.
Okay.
But thank you, OJ, for asking this question.
Thank you, OJ.
It's crazy to talk to you.
Why aren't you going to release the phone call?
I'm not commenting on the phone call, and they have my permission if they want to release it.
So you're saying the phone call, you have a recording of the phone call?
I'm not commenting on whether I have it or not.
Well, you already said that you had it recorded. You actually
she said that on Point Dabble Point, that she had the recording.
Oh, and I know, and I'm changing that statement too. I don't know if
Yeah, OJ, let her change her mind. She's changed her mind about way bigger things than this.
Yeah,
don't worry, baby.
I was drunk. I was drunk on that show by that point, and so I just impulsively said that.
Yeah, leave her alone, OJ. She was drunk. Don't worry.
That's weird. I was surprised by that because I didn't see her drinking.
No.
She turned off her camera a few times because she said her cat was unruly. But the show is 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. On the West Coast.
And the cat seemed fine.
Interesting. So she said that she had the phone call recorded.
Baby, Tookie will protect you. Stand behind Tookie.
I'm not saying I do or don't. I just don't have a statement on this phone call. But they have my permission to release the call because there's no way he didn't record it. And I actually know that he recorded it. So
she knows that he recorded it. Could you imagine? I've talked to Frog on the phone many times. I highly doubt he's recording our phone calls. Seems like a waste of time.
Would you be able to know if he was?
No.
If he didn't tell you? Yeah. So how does she know?
The only time I know is when I'm calling customer support and they say this phone call may be recorded for quality assurance purposes and future training.
And Joe doesn't say that, huh?
Joe's never said that when I've called him before.
They should go wild and release the call.
And if there's a call,
a lawsuit.
But so you're saying if there is a call, we will definitely either hear or not hear Shuli bring up this idea.
Good question.
Will the phone call answer all our questions about whose idea this was?
I'm making the claim that people just don't like me and don't want me to have this. And so they're just going to say, oh, well, the call is the way to find out. I would argue if you objectively look at the text exchanges exactly the way that I described.
Ava was doing this on Point Dabble Point too, where she was saying stuff that didn't make any sense. And then she's mad at us for not figuring it out. Well, people just don't like me, so they're going to say that the call is the way to figure it out. What?
She said we don't want her to have this. They don't want me to have this. Have what?
Have what? Do you have the phone call? Does it implicate Shuli or not?
She doesn't know what to do. She has never gotten this much attention.
Yeah, I know. I think that's what the problem is here. There's way too much attention. And I just want to say, I posted last night, early this morning, actually, I posted the video clip of us reviewing John's stand-up from Saturday night, the show in Pennsylvania that EDR attended. And I pulled mostly crowd work stuff, things that aren't in his normal set. We don't need to hear the squeegee joke again. But I posted it up on the, and there was a guy there who recorded it, the audio for me. There's another guy who recorded the video for me. So I was able to overlay actual photos of John performing stand-up over the stand-up clips. Took me a while. I did a lot of editing last night. Not the point. The point is I posted this video, and I was getting a lot of thumbs down on it, which I get thumbs downs on videos before, but not Stuttering John videos. People seem to really like those. And I was like, oh, that's weird. We only had a 90% like rate, which is very low for John stuff. So I clicked into the comments, like, what are people saying? Did I fuck this up? Did I edit it wrong? Everyone hates Ava. People just despise Ava. And it makes sense. She sucks.
Yeah.
She sucks, and she has no credibility, and she's not a genuine person because she talked all sorts of shit about John, and then she comes on Point Dabble Point and says Shuli's a worse person than John could ever be and talks all this shit. So it's just like, all right, so you're all this way or all that way? We can talk about Shuli's flaws. We can talk about John's flaws. She can't. She can only talk about one or the other depending on the year, the date that we're talking about it.
So it's not much of a counterpoint, really.
No, it kind of sucked. And I was, that's what has illuminated me. I was reading through these comments. I'm like, oh, everyone just fucking hates Ava.
So they're mad at you.
I get it,
Yes.
man.
Yes.
I get it. I saw a lot of people saying never have her on again.
Yeah.
A lot of the people
There's
on our Patreon.
A lot of that.
Yeah. You're probably putting together internet news, so you saw what's
Was there
going
always
on.
this hatred for her, or did it just happen after Point Dabble Point?
Well, that's a good question. Because as I mentioned previously in this episode, there was a lot of support for Ava.
Yeah.
She was embraced by the Uncle Rico show, the Shuli Network, Point Dabble Point. People were praising her music and checking that out.
But there were a faction of people on the fence, and I think this brought that to a boil.
But then she's been like on John's show a lot.
Yeah.
Like there isn't a more prominent co-host on John's show in the last few weeks than Ava Raiza. She's always getting the call to be on the show. And when you never challenge John, people get frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
People like Vince the Lawyer on the show because Vince challenges John. Clay Dabbler's been challenging John more often, so they like that. But Ava, and I brought this up on Point Dabble Point, John just claims I sent Tommy Jordan, whatever his name is, to his show to harass him. I'm like,
did.
Motherfucker.
You're all one. You're all just one collective.
Anyway, it was fun having.
We would send someone competent.
It was fun having Adam on the show while he was here.
And there was much rejoicing.
All right. So, but yeah, that was like one of the examples of like, you're letting this guy just say shit and you never push back. So people don't like that. So the question came into John on Tuesday is Ava Raiza was on Point Dabble Point. Nasty Neil was on Point Dabble Point, and John never let him hear the end of it.
Yep.
So
he wanted an apology from
He
poor
needed
Neil.
an apology from Nasty Neil. So the question is, will John be upset with Ava? Will he need an apology?
Vagina Wrinkle, you're going to make Ava apologize for pointless Babble Point? No. I'm not Pinky. I don't dictate where they can go. The Neil thing was a little odd for me because it was reminiscent of Adam stabbing the back bush. So that's why I felt a little, quote unquote, betrayed by it.
He's been burned in the past. It's hard to love again.
That was such a weird answer. I'm not like Kevin Brennan. However, I did reprimand Nasty Neil for going on, but it reminded me of like when Adam Bush went on Point Dabble Point, which is, John, the revisionist history for John is insane. Because I remember your appearance on John's show very well. And you go, and John goes, so what, are you a fan of, like, who are these podcasts and the Shuli show? And you go, yeah, I watch all of it, John. I can't get enough. I love the Dabbleverse. I'm all in. And John's like, oh, okay. And then he appears on the shows that he was saying that he loved and he appreciated. And John's like, this fucking guy stabbed me in the back.
Yeah. It's even worse than that. It took him months. They tried to egg him with that and be like, doesn't that annoy you? And he kept saying over and over again, that guy can do whatever he wants. I don't own people. That's Kevin Brennan. He's the guy that does that. He's a free agent. That's what he said. Then, Vince worked on him for a while. Yeah. He did a really good job and just got him to just snap. And now he can't remember why. But it brings up the only point I really want to make here, which is that it's such bullshit to be pretending like any of this even matters if Shuli knew or if he didn't. We've made it very clear whether he knew or not. We're just going to do the same thing anyway. You're telling me once there's a distinction that he did or didn't know with Frog, everyone's going to ease off of that? The whole thing with Karmic, somebody asked him, what is your real problem with Adam and Carl? Like, those people haven't done anything. And all he could come up with was, we have done shows with the Shuli Network. And if you can support a person like ISO, he's like, I just can't support that. I don't have time for that. That's really bad. It's like, oh, okay. So we're implied. But you're going to give Shuli a pass on whatever this shit is once you get definitive proof? No, you're not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that is the problem with trying to figure out why you don't like people that you have no reason to not like or you want to be enemies with, is because there's going to be a lot of things where you're like, yeah, but this person did this thing and you're okay with that. And then you got to explain yourself. And it's like, it's a lot of work. It's not worth it trying to figure out your justifications for dumb shit. So it gets brought up again because I don't think Vagina Wrinkle got the answer that Vagina Wrinkle needed. Why would John not be upset with Ava Raiza, even though Ava was in enemy's territory on Dabble Point? And John explains.
Vagina Wrinkle yelled at Neil for a pointless babble point, and MLC. When did I yell at MLC? But not Ava. I think it was.
Jesus, John's so stupid. No, Nasty Neil also went on Music Club's company. Duh. You didn't yell at MLC. You yelled at Nasty Neil for going on these shows where people make fun of you.
The real Vagina Wrinkle is right there in the middle of his forehead.
I'd fuck the shit out of that.
Like it was Tookie.
Like Rocco fucking Tookie's mouth.
Yeah. I think it was the other way around. I think Pinky yelled at me. Got it. People change. People grow. And I change. I grow.
Wow. So now the answer is, just a few minutes later,
I'm a person.
Now he's explaining he's evolved as a human being, and that's why he's okay with Ava coming on the show and wasn't okay with Nasty Deal, because he forgot the other bullshit answer that reminded him of Adam Bush.
Yeah. This is much easier.
He's so stupid. So is this evolution that we've witnessed, is this going to maintain then? He's going to be okay with people doing shows of his enemies?
I think it's going to last until the end of that sentence.
Oh, fuck. Because I was going to say, if Clay Dabbler wants to come on Dabble Point,
well, that would be
we'd
nice.
love to have him.
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
It's about fucking time.
But, John has grown as a person, Clay, so it's fine. You can come on, defend your boy.
Oh, but now that he knows how to turn off the DVR, he's got to go back to studying for the LSATs. Because that's all.
He does, and he has to strike at will.
Right.
Let's not forget that. He's got to take obnoxious John down. All right, so John is now a victim. He's so excited about this. This is the greatest information that's ever happened for him. If anyone thinks that John's upset about this, he is so excited. He's like, whoa. Someone reached out to Ava and told her to reach out to Knight. This is amazing. I am a victim in all of this, and it just proves that the Dabbleverse is a bunch of meanie bajinis who are going after me.
They were really? Really? They were talking about my kids? For real?
Yeah, they're going,
oh my God.
There was a link to an Instagram page and everything. It's wild. So John's very excited about this.
I sent Dr. Steve that link of Ava really saying what I mean, we all knew he's a scumbag.
Why did you send it to Dr. Steve? He has nothing to do with any of this. This is the crazy thing, and I feel very bad for my buddy Steve because he had to change his phone number because of this retard, and John just keeps sending him shit. John's so upset about the money we've raised through our GoFundMe. And thanks again to Steve, and thank you to everyone who's donated money to our GoFundMe, fightthedabbler.com. It's been incredible. The support has been incredible. And John sees that number. It's over $33,000. And he thinks that should be his money. He wanted Shuli and I to have to pay out of pocket for an attorney over this frivolous, ridiculous lawsuit.
Yes.
He never thought he was going to get the money. If he thought he was going to get $600,000, which turned into $850,000, he wouldn't care if we raised $33,000. What's the difference? He's going to get $850,000. He knows he's not getting shit. And he wanted Shuli and me to have to pay out of pocket ridiculous amounts of money for attorneys to defend ourselves.
Acting like he already lost.
He is. And Dr. Steve has nothing to do with any of this.
No.
And now John is trying to harass Dr. Steve over this, which is not going to get you anywhere. And talking to John is pointless. Mm-hmm. Stop harassing Dr. Steve, man. It's not going to help you out at all. People are going to turn on you even more so than they have. I mean, I can't imagine anyone aligning themselves with someone who's harassing and fucking with Dr. Steve. It's just not a good look. It's not a good move.
Quick note.
Yeah.
I think John knows how nice Steve is.
Yep.
And that's why he's trying so hard to get anybody on his side, especially Steve. He just wants to keep throwing like evidence as to why you should feel sorry for him.
You know what? That's not even it. There's something to that, but John thinks that Steve has $33,000.
Oh,
John,
right, yeah.
I swear to God, John sees the dollar amount on that page.
Yeah,
sees
you're right.
Dr. Steve's name.
He's blinded by it.
And he's like, Dr. Steve, can you give me that $33,000? Like, he literally thinks that he is owed this money and that he can get it from Dr. Steve, which he can't. Dr. Steve has no access to it. I don't have any access. Shuli doesn't have any access. It goes right to our attorney's firm. All of it's gone right to our attorney's firm.
Yes.
But that is what John thinks. I've gotten on good information from people that this is burning him up inside, that money's not his.
I also think he's having a tough time. I think you're right, Chris. He does know that Steve is a good guy. I think he's having a hard time processing that Steve might not be on his side. Like he thinks these two things go. He's like, but you like me. We're friends. How could you do that? You must be ill-informed. I'll keep sending you shit or convincing you. He'll see the light of day if I just keep doing this. And he must be mistaken. He can't comprehend that not just Steve, but everyone, every single person involved donated.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's... Steve set it up, and there was a lot of work, and I appreciate that he did that. But
did you reach out to him first, or did he reach out to you first? There seems to be a lot of controversy.
He reached out to me first. He was on Jake Hudson today. I see Jake Hudson in the chat. Steve reached out to me multiple times asking how he could help. As soon as he saw this lawsuit, he was just like, oh, this is fucked up, Carl. How can I help you out? And as I mentioned before, he made a couple generous offers, and I said, well, let's do something for both Shuli and me, because we're both co-defendants in this. So that's why we chose the GoFundMe. It made the most sense so that we could both, we're splitting our legal fees as it is. All right. So John is very excited to share this new victimhood that he has with his buddies, as I was mentioning earlier.
Text to, let's just say a few people.
Okay.
One of them being Vegas beer cells, Jerry, and he was equally as repulsed as I was. And they could fucking try and fucking paint this as like somehow it's because of this and that. Fuck off.
All right. And I'm glad you're laughing at that, because that's what John would do. If John was caught sending a text message to someone like, hey, find out this information about this guy, which he does all the time, but if that were to come out, he would come up with reasons why, well, it's okay when I do it because they did this thing to me or they did that thing. My mom's picture was behind them, all those episodes. There was KY jelly. Therefore, I'm allowed to do this. Shuli and them don't operate that way. That's not how they're defending themselves.
I also love how it's his My Cousin Vinny fantasy, where he just saddles up to the judge and he goes, come on. And they all go, all right, you got it. You got it. Yeah.
I know. It's great. So, yeah. I love when he talks about how he sent it to a buddy of his, and his buddy also reacted the same way that he did, as if that justifies everything. It's always like Vegas Beer Sales Jerry also saw the MP3 of my book on Patreon, so there's proof.
That holds water.
That's it. That's all you have to know. He also was repulsed by this thing. So there you go. That's
so we should be repulsed.
Right. But this is the best. I'm going to play, this is a very short clip. Remember, John loves being a victim. This is his favorite thing in the world. He's a cry bully. And this is maybe he's talking about Shuli acting. This is maybe overacting a little bit.
Like, I was in shock. I truly was in shock.
So this text message that got sent where nothing happened and no one ever reached out to Knight Melendez and nothing happened to your family and no one even knew about it until Dabble on Monday that this even happened was shocking to you? And you're in shock over it? Like, literally nothing has happened to him or his family. No. They're making a big deal about it. I know I'm covering this quite a bit. So I didn't, I wanted to talk about this because it's the only content on John's show right now. So we have to cover it. But it's like literally nothing happened.
Why is he so ashamed of Ava? Like anyone that's on his show, he's like, you have to be best friends with my mother. You have to meet my brother. Kate, you're going to love my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Mom and Richard Ojeda, the whole thing. Like, why can't Ava and your kid be friends?
Do you want to know the truth, Adam? Can I tell you the truth?
Please.
It's because John hasn't spoken to his trans son in years.
Come on.
And he doesn't want anyone to know that. Because it's embarrassing that he's a terrible father who's lost connection with his children.
But he would do anything for his kids, including stop drinking if they asked.
No,
including
actually,
stop being online.
No, he hasn't done any of those things. They have asked. Isn't that crazy?
Very publicly.
So then he brings out Ava. He's complaining this whole episode. Like, where's Ava? I sent her the link. Why isn't Ava on here? So finally, she's probably drinking. So finally, Ava shows up on the show. And John explains when he was watching Ava on Dabble, how he felt about that.
Ava really fucking stuck it to them on Pointless Babble Point. And, I haven't been able to watch because I'm sorry. I have such a hard time dealing with Snaggletooth and Shitway's voice. Shitway's arrogance and pompous attitude just drives me completely insane.
I love this. John's like, hey, you're going to give Ava shit? No, why would I give her shit? I didn't even watch it. This is like the one thing where John could be watching this, taking notes, pulling clips, doing this whole thing, and instead he's like, I can't, I couldn't watch it. Fucking lazy, man. So lazy. He can't be bothered to watch the thing that is going to propel his show for whatever the narrative is for the next however many days. Couldn't be bothered with it.
He doesn't feel obligated to monitor and protect his kids from whatever horrible things they're saying over there?
No, I guess not. It's weird, right? All right, so then John, of course, has these text messages that I showed earlier that Ava posted on her Twitter, and he's sending that out to everyone.
I have my permission to show him if you want to.
No, I'm going to wait because they already gotten to my the people that I need to get them to. Okay. I think you can read between the lines when I say that, and
I guess so. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, but they are real. And I know that Vegas Beer sells Jerry. I sent him to him. I sent it to my lawyer in Florida, who also was freaking amazed.
So I know John's not an attorney yet, but I am curious how you connect the dots between producer Joe sending a text message to Ava and a right-of publicity case in New York State. I'm a little confused as to what those two things have in common and why he would have to send that to his attorney
and Vegas.
Vegas Beer sells Jerry.
Because in the court of public opinion, they're all going to agree, not cool.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. These guys are jerks. He really is that stupid, too. And the fact that he's like, oh, boy, this case is blown wide open now that I have these text messages. John doesn't even know what he sued us for. He still has no idea what it is. He has no clue. I wish he would read through the complaint. He should. It's fucking wild. It's crazy.
He doesn't know why he hates me. He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't.
It's just made up stuff.
Well, he introduced you to Howard Stern. Therefore, you owe him for the rest of your life.
I did. I went on his show. And then I helped him learn how to work the rewind
That's true.
thing.
You did do those things.
Which freed him up to become the lawyer he is today. Because if I hadn't showed him that many years ago, he'd still be working on it.
Who are you?